Kill a Mockingbird. This story is about a girl named Scout Finch who lives in Macomb, Alabama. She lives with her father Atticus, older brother Jim, and cook Capernaum. Scout plays in the neighborhood with Jim and their friend Dale, who lives in another town. Scout is smart for her age as she can read pretty well. However, her teacher scolds her for having learned read from her father. Scout lives near the Radley house, which is infamous in the community. Supposedly, a man named Bo Radley still lives there, but no one has seen him come out. The kids play near the house and try to get Bo to come out, but Atticus tells them to leave Bo alone. One morning, it begins to snow in Macomb, which is extremely rare. Jim and Scout build a snowman with the light snow in their yard. However, their neighbor's house catch on fire and the entire town is out to help. During the commotion, Bo Radley puts a blanket around Scout's shoulder, though she doesn't realize it until later. Because Atticus is a lawyer, he is assigned to represent Ty Robinson, a black man, in a rape case. Word travels quickly as soon as a boy at school teases Scout about it. Atticus warns Scout that she must not fight or get upset when people speak badly of him and that people will be speaking badly about him in the upcoming months because of the case. During Christmas, however, Scout's cousin teases her and she fights him. One day, Jim and Scout pass by Mrs. DeBoe's house. She is an old sick woman who insults Atticus for defending Tom Robinson. This gets Jim mad, and so he destroys all of Mrs. DeBoe's flowers. Atticus punishes Jim by making him read to Mrs. Bowles every day for a month. Mrs. DeBose is barely awake during the time and dismisses them when the alarm clock shuts off. After a month of reading, Jim notices that the alarm clock goes off later and later. A month later, Mrs. DeBose dies. Atticus reveals that Mrs. DeBose was dying with an addiction to morphine and that she slowly weaned herself off of it with the alarm clock, as Jim's reading was a distraction. Jim begins to grow up and separate himself from Scout. Then one day, Scout's aunt Alexandra arrives and lives with them. Her aunt wants Scout to act like a young lady, but Scout continues to fight and be tough. Dill also runs away from home to live in Macomb. As the trail for Tom Robinson gets closer, the townspeople begin talking. A group of men even arrive at the house and tell Atticus that Tom is being held at the town jail. Atticus decides to protect the jail by sitting at the front door. Scout, Jim, and Dill run to the jail as a group of men pull up in cars. The gang of men want Atticus to move out of the way, but he refuses. Scout runs in the middle of things and begins talking to one of the men she recognizes. She diffuses the situation and the angry men leave. The trial is the next day, and so Scout, Jim, and Dale go to the courtroom to watch. The courtroom is packed with people, and the group find their seats in the balcony as the court proceedings begin. In the case, Tom Robinson is accused of raping Mayella Ewell, a 19-year-old girl. Mr. Tate, a man that arrived on the scene, is the first to be questioned on the stand. He says that he was called and found Mayala hurt. Atticus asks him to describe the wounds, which were choke marks around the neck and a bruised right eye. Mr. Ewell, Mayala's father, is then questioned and recollects that he heard his daughter screaming and came to her rescue. Atticus questions him, and it is revealed that Mr. Ewell is left-handed, which ties in with the bruised right eye of Mayella. Mayella is questioned and confirms her father's story. However, when Atticus questions her, it is revealed that she is both uneducated and isolated by her father. And finally, Tom Robinson is questioned, and he reveals that he did not rape her, but that Mayella actually came to him and refused and ran away. In his closing argument, Atticus concludes that Mr. Ewell had beaten Mayella because he found out that she wanted to kiss Tom, a black man. The jury leaves to deliberate while the rest of the people wait. When the jury returns a few hours later, the verdict is read and Tom Robinson is found guilty and sentenced to death. Atticus is sad about the loss, but had expected it. The next day, dishes of food are given to Scout's family for the work her father did. As soon as the town soon forget the trial, Mr. Ewell spits on Atticus' face and swears to kill him. Atticus tries to act civilized and just walks away. Atticus tries to explain to Tom Robinson that there is still a chance that the ruling can be approved. However, Tom Robinson tries to run away and is shot. Dill leaves the town at the end of the summer and school begins. For Halloween, Scout dresses up as a ham for the school pageant, and Jim walks with her to the auditorium. After the pageant, they walk home in the dark, but hear someone following them. They try to run but are attacked by someone. Jim is hurt and Scout is on the ground. Someone pulls the attacker off Scout and then the fighting stops. A man picks up Jim, who is unconscious, and they go home. Atticus calls the doctor and is unassured that Jim and Scout will be okay. The sheriff discovers that Mr. Ewell is dead with a knife wound to his chest. Also, the man who carried Jim is Bo Radley, their mysterious neighbor. Atticus wants the attack to be public and suspects that Jim stabbed Mr. Ewell in self-defense, but the sheriff is adamant that Mr. Ewell stabbed himself after tripping. In the end, Jim wakes up the following day.